Hello, Paris. How are you?
Hi. I'm good. How are you?
I am doing very well. I am excited to learn from you today. Audience, it is wonderful to see we have folks who are streaming in already. As we're getting going, if you could just let us know in the comments that you can see us and hear us so we can make sure that your practice today and everything that we learn from Paris will be uninterrupted and smooth. Also, let us know where you are tuning in from. We are excited to have Paris, who herself has a global background and a global audience, and it's always nice to see where we have folks tuning in from. So let us know in the comments. Hi, Bishan. Hi, Mary. Good to see you all. Just give us a yes that you can see us and hear us, and we will get started. My name is Ashley. I am with the Discover team here at Teachable, and this is a very exciting session today. We often get a lot of content where creators come on and teach new skills and share new information. Today with Paris, we will actually get a chance to do some practicing, which is always a bonus. As somebody who has been an aspiring yogi learner for many years, the sun salutation and the foundations of the entire yogic practice, I think, are an incredibly valuable thing to learn. One that I never really took the time to learn. It was just kind of like, oh, I'll start doing some classes. But Paris is going to be teaching us those foundational concepts that really help you build and develop a strong practice. Not to mention the fact that she has, make sure that you correct me on this, Paris, but it's a degree in, it's like biochemistry or bio. Tell me what your degree
is. Neuroscience. Yeah.
Biochemistry. So we are in good hands with somebody who understands both how the body and the brain work, and somebody who's been practicing yoga herself for so many years. Paris, will you just give us a little bit of background on your journey to the practice that you have now?
Yeah. So hi everyone, thank you for tuning in. My name is Paris and I'm originally from Trinidad and Tobago, a tiny island in the Caribbean. And I started practice when I graduated from university because I was feeling really overwhelmed. So I always like to say that I did not find yoga. I know it's kind of cheesy, but yoga found me at a point in time where I really felt like I needed it, because I always used to think it was just stretching or it was just like any other physical activity. But what I've learned from practicing and having a self-practice and then being trained by the Yoga Alliance and being certified is that yoga is so much more than just a physical practice. It connects your mind and your body, and there's breath, meditation, and physical movement that's involved. And that completely changed my outlook and changed me physically and mentally. So I'm really excited to share with you a simple practice that you can do on your own at home as well.
Amazing. And just so everybody knows, I'm getting some notes about the echo, and I can kind of hear it too, but I will be muting my microphone, so you'll just hear Paris. Just to let everybody know, there is a replay for this session available. So if you miss some of that foundational knowledge about the sun salutations or the series that we'll be doing today, don't fret. You will have access to it from here on out. Also, stay tuned to the end because Paris is a really special, kind of like a secret bonus. So a little bonus for those of us who are here at the end of today's session. So I definitely think it's worth sticking around for. And if you like this type of content and want to be notified when we have these incredible creators and practitioners like Paris come and share their wisdom with us, like and subscribe to the YouTube channel, and you'll be notified when hopefully Paris comes back. So keep your eyes, feel free to type questions into the comment box. I'll be monitoring that throughout today's event, and we'll save some time for questions at the end. So would love to know, as we're getting started, I'll turn it over to Paris, but let us know where you are in your yoga journey. Is this something that have you been practicing for a while? Are you new to the practice? Like Paris is saying, what we're learning today, I think, is relevant no matter where you are in your journey. So I'm very excited to kind of look with new eyes here. So would love to hear that from you all as well. And without any further ado, I'll turn it over to you, Paris.
Thank you, Ashley, for that nice intro. Okay, so everybody, it doesn't matter where you are right now. If you have a mat, if you don't, like wherever you're at, I want you to join me in a comfortable seated position. And if you just want to observe today, you can as well, because I'll be going through all of the moves for a beginner version of a sun salutation A, which is a sequence or a series of movements that you can practice. So I would recommend, if you get comfortable with this, you can practice it like maybe about 3 a day and work your way up to maybe about 5 or 10, depending on how you feel. So come to a comfortable position, and we'll start with a small, just shaking out anything that we might have brought onto our mat. So I always like thinking about your mat as like your space where you can kind of shed those layers of your day. So if you had something really chaotic that happened throughout the day, or if you just had something heavy that's on your mind, you have a chance right when you get on your mat to kind of let that go. So we'll first let it go in a little warm up. So we can start by just feeling the movement of our shoulders. So as you practice with me, I want you to take deeper breaths. So really be in tune with where you're at. So we just roll in our shoulders all the way up and around, and really feeling that, maybe getting a little bit of motion in our neck as well. And then let's bring our chin down to the left side, being very aware of where we are feeling the stretch. So it's really a connection from your mind to your body. So we're not just like, moving our neck around, we just feeling that connection, rolling your neck all the way to the other side. Pause in here for a breath and bring it all the way down and roll it around. If you want to transfer that movement into your spine, if you've brought any tension there, so all you can do a small roll. And it doesn't matter, I always like to say, it doesn't matter how something looks, so don't be shy. But it matters like how it feels for you. So if you're getting deep into it and you're realizing that, yeah, it feels really good and you want to maybe do a little bit of a twist as well, there is no perfect way to do something. Like we do have alignment cues, but it's really about how it feels for you, and everybody's body's completely different. And yoga is for all ages, and it doesn't matter if you're flexible, if you've never done any activity in your life, it's for you. So let's just do a little shake again, and then we will close our eyes, and I always like to set an intention for our practice. And that just means grounding in on what we are dedicating the energy and the love from our practice to. So sometimes I dedicate it to someone else, so sometimes I dedicate it to myself, or a goal that I'm working on, or I just offer up any blessings to anyone who might need it. So we'll just take a breath here and roll the shoulders back. And just take a nice exhale. Feel free to exhale very audibly. And whenever you're ready, we're going to inhale, reach your hands all the way up. And try to take that breath very deep. Maybe about 4 counts on the inhale, on your rise, pressing the palms together. And on the exhale, offer up any thoughts, any prayers, or any intentions that you have for this small practice today. We're going to bring our hands towards our hearts, and you can just take a small bow, and we will just honor our body and our practice today on the mat, regardless of how it looks. We just focus on how we feel, and we honor our body, and we practice with love and attention tonight. So just press the palms down, very good, and let us hop onto our mat if you're already. I was on the floor, but I just chose you. You can really do it anyway. Okay, so small little warm up for our spine here before we start the sequence. So we're going to come into all fours. And one of the important principles is making sure that your joints are stacked. So when your joints are stacked, there's stability. So shoulders over wrists and hips in line with your knees. So we'll have a neutral spine here, which means pretty much flat if we can. And on the inhale, I want you to arch the back. So a small arch of the back as you look up. And we try to isolate the movements in our spine here. So let's inhale here on this breath. And on the exhale, we will round our spine, almost like we wanted to touch the ceiling. And bring your chin to the chest. Let's do 2 more together. So this is a cat-cow stretch. This is the cow part of it. I like making those noises to just remind kids when I'm teaching kids. So if you have kids at home, you can do this with them. And this is the cat stretch. Rounding and curling the spine all the way up. And let's take 1 more. Inhale and arching, and this feels really good. Like if you have any back pain, this is one of your best stretches. And you can even make it a little bit dynamic too by just moving around the spine. However, you feel maybe a little forward and a little back. So you could always make a movement of your own. It doesn't have to be following this strict set of rules. You can do a little free flow as well. Great, so a little back warm up there, and we're all going to stand, and I will walk you through every move of the sequence, and then we'll do it together one more time. I'm just going to adjust my camera so you can see my head a little bit, yeah. Okay, so first move is mountain pose, so we'll do that one by one, and then start connecting them. Mountain pose is pretty much the easiest one that we can do today. We're going to stand tall, maybe your feet are together, that is comfortable, and if not, then just hip width apart. We're going to try to make sure we stand very active. So we don't want us arching our back. We just kind of want to tuck everything in to the midline. So just a small tuck of your pelvis. Hands towards the side. Roll the shoulders back. Try not to keep any tension here. And just a steady gaze. If you want, you can close your eyes as well. And there we have our first pose. See? Mountain pose. If you want to do extended mountain, we just take the arms up, almost like if we were reaching up towards the ceiling. And just feel that stretch here. So that was our mountain pose. Our second pose that we're going to do is our forward fold. And it's exactly as it says. So we are folded forward. I'm just going to bring the camera up just a tad bit again. Yeah. So mountain pose. Extended mountain pose. Making sure that you hold yourself in the midline as well. And we're going into full forward fold. Now there's always a modification in yoga, regardless of where you are at. So for beginners, I actually like bending my knees here. So if you feel like you can't touch your toes as yet, a forward fold is completely fine if you bend. And when you bend, you can just give yourself a little hug, making sure that your stomach is connected to your thighs. And just feel that forward fold stretch. Maybe if you feel a little bit more active, you could start straightening out your legs a little bit. But this is fine. And our third movement is half forward fold. So we're just going to bring the hands down, maybe on the shins, on the thighs, and look forward. So this is a half fold. So let's try to do this 3 moves together again. So stand towards the front of your mat because we are going to jump back towards that. Roll the shoulders back, bring your feet hip width apart, taking a nice inhale, extended mountain. And I will guide you over the cues of your breath as well. So this is an inhale. And on the exhale, we fold forward, hugging ourselves in, exhale. On the inhale, we tend to lengthen. On the exhale, we tend to get deeper. And then we come into our inhale, half fold, creating space in our body. Our next move is actually make it down onto the mat. So we're going to bend our knees, press the palms down to the ground, and gently you can step 1 foot back and the other foot back into our plank. If you have any problems with your wrist here, you could always modify with forearm plank. This is like an intermediate step. From here, from plank, I want you to keep your core really hugged in and tight, a little bit of core action there. You're going to bend your knees, drop your knees down all the way to the mat. So you're going to look forward and taking a nice deep breath. We're just going to try to drop our chest and our chin all the way down. Then you're going to gently come onto the mat and come into our cobra pose. So in cobra, you want to make sure that your feet are pressed firmly into the ground, and this will help support your back. You want the fingertips a little bit behind the shoulders, elbows rolled in, and on the inhale, you don't want to come all the way up in one step. I want you to feel like if your back is really unlocking all of your vertebrae, slowly coming up. Thinking about really getting your chest forward. So you don't want to be up here, because this is kind of suffocating for your upper spine. So I want you to think of rolling, like a small shrug, just roll it back. It doesn't even matter if you can't come up this high. Maybe you're down here today, this is baby cobra, so that's actually fine. If you want to come up, We keep our hips pinned down, so don't come up for the stretch. It's a cobra stretch, so just like a cobra would have that nice S shape, that's what I'm trying to create here. Very good. So from here, you're going to tuck your toes, and you're going to come up into our downward dog. So you can move through your knees. So come up on your knees, tuck your toes, and I want you to lift the hips up and back, and press your chest as if you were looking back towards your belly button or your spine. Now, if you can't get your heels pressed down to the ground, you can always keep your knees bent. So you have the modification of bending in order to get that spine straight. Because if you don't have that length in your hamstrings right now, which is fine, you might end up with a rounded back region. So we modify. And if you can't get the heels fully flat, we bend and keep that nice flat back. Now this is the last movement in Salutation A, but we have to reverse it by coming all the way back up. So very gently, I want you to look forward. We're going to take a few steps. Beginner version, you just crawl. From here, we are reversing what we did before. So we come into half fold on the inhale. Very good. You can take a little breath here. Then we exhale, forward fold. Take it nice and slow. And then we reach our arms up into our extended mountain. Press the palms together if you want to take a breath here. And come all the way back down. So you're going to run that over one more time, and I'm going to get you aware of how your breath works, because when you actually do it in connection with the breath, it feels so much better. So let's do it step by step with the breath, and then we run it through one more time so that you will remember and be able to practice. I know I can't see you all, but hopefully you'll follow along. Okay, so roll the shoulders back, and let's do our first movement here. I want you to just take an exhale first and just release anything you're feeling. Maybe shake it out of your wrist, shake it out of your legs. And you're going to take a deep breath. Inhale, extended mountain. Maybe you can even reach up on the toes for this one. On the exhale, full forward fold. Hugging yourself in, taking that nice self-hug. Give yourself some love here. We're going to inhale, half fold, pressing your hands into your shins. Get that nice flat back. If you feel like your back is not that flat in this position, feel free to bend your knees again, right? Always a modification. From here, you'll remember the next move is coming down into our plank. So you can bend your knees until you reach all the way down. Second one foot back, the next foot back, coming into that nice strong plank. We want to make sure we're pushing the ground away from us. From here, we gently drop your knees down. And I want you to think of knees, chest, chin. So that's something that you can remember. From plank, we drop your knees, we drop your chest, we drop your chin, and then we slide into our cobra. Feel free to take it slow. Press your feet into the mat, roll your shoulders back, and really enjoy that nice back bend here. Now in cobra, you want to make sure that we keep a small bend in the elbows. We don't want to hyperextend the elbows and just have ourselves really tight here, right? So small bend, and feel that softness. Take a nice inhale here. Then we're going to exhale, press up and back into the downward dog. Maybe take a quick walk of the downward dog, just pedal the feet out. And walk all the way back up to the front. Where we take a nice inhale into half fold. Exhale into full fold. And rise all the way up. Very good. So if it's nice, we do it thrice. So one more time, last time. A little bit quicker if you want. And then we're going to go through any questions that you'll have. Feel free to type it in the comment box, and then Ashley can let us know after this. Any specific questions, any modifications you'll want to see in any of these moves, I will be happy to answer. So roll the shoulders back. You're going to take an inhale again. On the exhale, forward fold. Hug yourself. Straighten your legs a little bit if you want. On the inhale, half fold. Look forward. Keep that core drawn in. Press the palms down. We're going to exhale, step it back. One foot back, the next foot back. Keep it nice and tight. Take a breath in. Inhale. On the exhale, drop your knees, chest, chin. And on the inhale, rise all the way back up into cobra. Roll the shoulders back. Take your deep breath here. Come through the knees, tuck your toes, press it all the way up and back into downward dog. You're doing great. Walk it out if you need to. When you're ready, look forward and slowly walk all the way to the front of your mat. And let's take an inhale. Nice breath. So last few movements, so really try to see if you can enjoy it. Exhale, full forward fold. And on the inhale, we rise. Pressing palms together and coming all the way back down. Hands to heart. And yeah, that is the end of our sun salutation. A very, very simple beginner version that you all can practice on your own. And if you have any questions and any modifications, just let me know and I'll be happy to demonstrate if anybody has anything specific. But yeah, we can actually go to our short presentation if anybody has any questions. So I'll just wait for Ashley to come back.
Feeling stretched, rejuvenated. It's a nice interlude during the day. Thank you so much for that, Paris. I appreciate the level of instruction and the ability to follow both the kind of foundational concepts of how we're framing our body, how we're thinking about the mat and the frame of mind that we want to be in when we're doing this practice, because it is meant to be something that's wholly separate from the rest of the day, maybe, right? Like you said, it's the place where you can shed those layers, which I think is a really beautiful way to think about it. I know that you have, and Bisham or Annalisa is saying she's feeling relaxed. We do have a question here, and this is actually something that maybe has different answers depending on where folks are physically. But Malini is asking about what about people with scoliosis, and I'm sure that there are other types of either medical issues or health concerns that we want to take into consideration when we're doing yoga. How do you speak with your with your students about that?
Okay, so basically, there are specific movements that you can do if you do have like an actual diagnosed problem with like scoliosis. And the first thing I would ask my students is if they do have any conditions like that, and in that way we could like modify. So I would not go into too much of like deep twists or back bends, and it depends on like the S curvature of your spine, like which way it goes. So what I would ask is for you to get clearance like from like a medical professional, like on what poses you can or can't do depending on how actually, because it's different for everybody, like the curve of your spine. So I would get clearance first, and then usually they tell you like what ranges or poses that you should avoid. And if they come to me with that, then I'm able to like offer modifications. But usually a lot of poses like deep back bends, depending on like their spine, like the way that it moves, or like really intense twists, we would avoid. But there are a lot of good poses like for scoliosis, like even downward dog is a good one because it kind of gives that length in the spine and like you feel really good after. So you can actually search that up as well. There are a lot of different like people who recommend like classes online specifically for that like criteria of people who have like that diagnosed like condition.
I so appreciate that. And we have lots of other folks who are saying, oh, actually, it's helped with, Celine is mentioning that it's helped with their asthma and helped. And Alyssa is mentioning that their 4-year-old is doing it with them, which is also amazing. I think speaks to the power of this practice that, like you said, there are things that you would avoid depending on what your physical condition is or your medical situation, certainly if you have scoliosis. But there are some poses that can be restorative even in that situation. So like you mentioned, downward dog, and I appreciate the level of variability that any type of student has, right, to make their practice work for them. And it sounds like, what you're pointing out is part of the foundation of yoga is that it is something that enhances your physical, emotional, spiritual life. And you want to focus your practice on the poses that contribute to that, right? So maybe you might be avoiding certain twists, but you can explore deepening your downward dog and some of your sun salutations and things like that, which is that's a great way to frame it.
Yeah, and also like I always like saying that like yoga is for any age. I actually do have like in like live classes for like minis, and it's called like a program I have called Mindful Minis, and they're kids who are like 3 years old and who actually like are so involved in these poses, and I actually think it's so good to get kids involved in like mindful movements, and it's really good. And then even there are people who are like above 60 years and over, and there's even something called chair yoga, right? So it's like anything you have, like it's applicable to all different like ages, all different like experience levels. There's yoga for cyclists, yoga for golfers, so many different things that you can do. So like I just love that there's something in it for everyone. And even if you just want to have a breath practice, even if like you don't have time and you're like, okay, well maybe like I just breathe really slowly, that is considered yoga because you are connecting your body and your mind. So yeah.
This is reminding me when I so there's also yoga for, I don't know if you can sit, for expected mamas, which is what I am. When I was, it's definitely
prenatal yoga. I'm actually being certified in pre and postnatal right now, actually. So it's really good.
Well, I was wondering if I would be able to continue practicing, and now it's funny because I feel like I need it more than ever because my body is doing things that I don't understand or have
so like once you start, you just feel like your body actually misses it. Like once you start, it's like such a beautiful addition. Like your body will actually crave it. It's a huge difference.
That's exactly right. Thank you, Rupa, for saying congratulations. So I know, Paris, that you have a piece of presentation to share with us. So I want to let you get to that. But audience, feel free, of course, to continue sending in questions. If there are particular elements of your yoga practice that have been beneficial to you, or certain areas of your life that have been helped by your cultivating this practice, let us know. And if you have questions for Paris, you can drop those in the comments as well, and I'll be sure that we chat about them before we end today. All right, so I'm going to hop backstage again and pull up your presentation for you, Paris.
Okay, so it's me again. Okay, so I have a small, am I able to move it as well? Like move the slides? Oh, so, okay, let me see if is this moving any slides for you? Are you seeing the second slide? Yeah, okay, perfect. Okay, so this is my short presentation on For the Love of Yoga, which is a program that I came on for specifically like for beginners, like especially if you want to like have that foundation before you join any live classes. So it's called For the Love of Yoga, and it's basically how to bring your mind and body into balance. And my little tagline that I always use is your yoga BFF, because I just like to have that kind of like BFF friendly approach to like teaching, so that students feel comfortable coming to me if they have anything that they want to work on, if they have any questions, because I think sometimes it could be very daunting to maybe enter a yoga class and be like a beginner. So I just want to provide that environment as like your yoga BFF so that you kind of feel comfortable. A little bit about me. Well, I think we already went through this. I did study, I'm from Trinidad and Tobago, and I studied at the University of Toronto. I did a double major in biochemistry and neuroscience. So my background is science. But after I graduated, I realized that I wanted to start yoga, and then a lot of people started asking me to maybe teach them a thing or two when I mentioned how amazing it was for me. And so I got certified, and I kind of eventually in the future want to bring that notion of like science and yoga together in the form of like yoga therapy, and maybe eventually work with people with like mental disorders or like any type of thing that yoga can help with. I kind of want to branch off into that in the future. So yeah, this is I offer a lot of free tutorials on my Instagram. If you all want to hop in there, you could always DM me and ask me any yoga questions. I'm your yoga BFF, of course. Okay, so the three things that yoga is divided into, well, not divided, but that it encompasses is movement, breath and meditation. So your movement is anything that you do with your body. So we usually call that asanas, and these are postures. So all of your downward dogs, sun salutations, they're all like categorized under like a form of movement. And what is different about yoga is that it's not just like an exercise. Like it's not just like, okay, we meet for like maybe like aerobics, and we have no focus on like your breath and like the way that connects to your mind. So in my course, I actually talk a lot about like breath as well, and like breathing techniques that you can use. There are a lot of different breathing techniques, from alternate nostril breathing to the ujjayi or ocean breath. And breath is such a huge like thing that we take for granted. Our breath is like the only thing that kind of stays with us from the moment we are born until the very end. And it's something that we need to develop a deeper relationship with, because if we don't, we kind of just take that for granted and never really get the full benefits of what breath can actually do for us, which I think is really important. Something as simple as, I'm going to give you all a little tip, like if you ever feel really anxious, and you want to kind of kick in that part of your nervous system that relaxes you, all you have to do is just take your exhale for a little bit longer counts. So for instance, they're like breath ratios. So like you can have a breath ratio of like 4 to 4, which means that you inhale for 4, then you exhale for 4. So if you want to activate that parasympathetic nervous system, which is your rest and relax form of your function of your nervous system, you can take a longer exhale. So you will inhale for about 3, maybe try exhaling for about 5, and your body actually brings you into that state of like rest. So that's something that you could do like wherever you are. If you're at the office, if you like can't sleep, you could actually just do that as well. And then meditation is your third aspect. And I think there's no set specific way for you to meditate. There's not like something you have to do. There's not like a way you have to sit or something you have to think about. It's really specific to you. Like your meditation could just be maybe sitting down on your mat at the end of a long day and just being aware of your breath. That could be as simple as it is. There are meditations revolving around gratitude, where you maybe want to do a gratitude meditation and you kind of picture that gratitude as a light flowing all the way through your body, and then picture sending all that light as blessings to someone else. So that's something I typically do at the end of my classes as well. So movement, breath, and meditation. So these are my progress pictures. So I always like showing that like you don't have to be a specific like level to start, and even some of these poses are a little bit advanced, which it doesn't even have to be like that. It's specific for you, but I just wanted to show you that like I was really struggling to touch my toes or to have any sort of flexibility in my hamstrings and my legs, and then like over time it happened, and your body basically, it feels like if something in it is unlocked and you're able to kind of just feel at home in your body, and it's like an amazing feeling. And of course it happens if you just do like maybe 5-10 minutes a day. I was not even practicing beyond 10 minutes for these progress pictures. I just kept doing it every day, maybe every day taking 5 power folds, and eventually it opened up. So it's not about like, if you really want to like, so these are a few of the beginner poses as well. You can see that my alignment is off. I couldn't touch my toes. I was struggling to get into back bends. So that picture at the bottom right, it's actually not the best back bend, but I started somewhere and anybody can start. So some of the benefits of yoga, it of course reduces stress and anxiety. It activates the parasympathetic nervous system for the rest and relax and digest function. It can tame an overactive mind. So when you come home from work and you really feel like there's so much things that you have going on, like the best thing to do is just step on your mat and be able to just kind of relax. It increases your brain power and the function of your brain as well. It also prevents age-related decline. And there's actually scientific studies that prove this as well, that yoga actually keeps your brain younger, and in turn keeps you looking and feeling younger as well. And we have all these different systems in our body, the respiratory system, cardiovascular, and it actually helps with like a lot of that, especially your lymph drainage. So if you don't move your body, you're not going to get rid of toxins and stuff that's built up. So yoga gives you an opportunity. I have this one class that's a detox yoga class, and it's really good because it kind of helps you twist and move and gently like massage those organs in your body to be able to get that flow. So this is like my beginners yoga course, and I'll just briefly let you all know what's inside of it. So it's over 40 instructional videos on the foundation. You have also guided breathing and meditation videos. We have videos on finding your flow. So at the very end, there's like introduction to flowing and how you can actually take that beginner level and I'm introducing you into a little bit more advanced. If you want that level, it's just you're getting that as well in the course, introduction on arm balances and a lot of different strength practices as well. You will also get 2 ebooks with over 100 pages of information on how to get started with your practice from scratch, comprehensive PDFs. So apart from all of the videos that I'm sharing, you're also going to get the PDFs on every single pose that's covered with their cues and their benefits as well. And if you feel very overwhelmed, I've even offered a 28-day instructional plan to guide you through. So I will tell you like on this day you do this, and this day you do that if you feel overwhelmed. We also have a Your Yoga BFF Facebook group if you want to ask us any questions. Yeah, so, that slide repeated. Okay, so module 1, we are going to be learning about a little bit about yoga and the types of yoga and what might be good for you. So an in-depth look at the various styles, a comparison between doing yoga at the gym, studio, home, how to schedule your practice, how to set up your yoga space. Behind me was actually like practically a dungeon. And then I kind of transformed it into this space, and you don't even have to have anything big. It could just be a little corner of your room. I have examples on how to schedule your practice and a printable worksheet as well. Module 2 is all about breath and meditation. So you will learn some of the breathing techniques, guided meditations, as well as prompts that you can use for the month. So if you're really into like journaling, or if you're into like just doing a guided meditation by just having a prompt, I'm going to give that to you as well. Module 3, we're going to be learning all of these poses, and I'm going to be actually doing them with you. So it's actual videos, and we're going to be learning sequencing as well. Module 4, we're going to be learning a little bit more difficult poses, and following our sun salutation A that we did, you will be learning sequencing of sun salutation B, which is a little bit like another level that you could practice as well. Module 5 and 6, we have a lot of these standing and seated poses. So it's basically organized according to like a progression. So you'll be able to, you wouldn't feel overwhelmed by it. We have like triangle pose, sphinx. I know these names sound like weird now, but like really good when you get into it and you actually start practicing. Module 7, we have like strength and flexibility flows. So you have like arm strengthening flow, a flow for like your core, which is like your abs, like making sure you have that strength in there as well. Hamstring flow is for flexibility, and then a relaxing like yin flow that you could repeat when you like come home and stuff and you feel really tired. And then this next module, we do have the introductory videos on how to get started with splits, how to get started with arm balances, handstands, just introductory videos. So you'll be able to build on them, and you can still repeat any of these as well. So your 28-day plan is divided like this. You will get like the entire PDF, like what you should do for breath, how much sun salutations you should do, and like your poses that you should do at that point in time as well. So this is a lifetime access. So once you purchase this course, you're gonna have it for a lifetime. There's no like expiration date. It's just one time. It's not something that you have to pay for monthly. It is a one-time fee, and we actually have a discount going on right now for only $52 US. And I think Ashley could probably pop that into the chat so you can see the link to purchase it. How to enroll. So when you actually click on it, you can use, they will guide you through everything. And if you want to actually learn more about the course itself, like on that sales page, you can read all about it and go in depth if you want a little bit more information. And then from there, you can purchase it, and you can use PayPal or credit card. And then you're going to get a message saying, thanks for enrolling in our 28-day beginner series. And then from there, you can access the course. This is how your dashboard is going to be looking. So you're going to have your curriculum laid out, and it's going to tell you like a little progress bar as well. So you can know like what is complete. And then, yeah, you can basically go through all of these, and it follows like a really nice order. So you can just wake up and just click one if you just want to do like one a day. And it's a lifetime access to videos, and this is how the instructional part looks. I will actually be guiding you through everything and showing you how to modify as well. So once again, it's discounted for 1 week, and we do have like a really good price going on right now for lifetime access. And I know that Ashley mentioned we have a special offer. So those of you who stay towards the end of this presentation, and if you purchase this course today, you will actually receive a bonus 10 class pass to my live classes. So I do have live classes every single week, and the exact way that I go through things, very specifically with cues in my little used to be dungeon, now yoga studio. I do have those live classes, so you will actually get a 10 class pass. So that's really good, because not only will you have the beginner course that you are able to keep for a lifetime, but you will actually get a 10 class pass as well. And you can actually come to the class where I will be going through different things. And for August, we have a really nice set of classes planned out. Every single class is different. Typically, the classes are Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 6:30 p.m. and a 10 class pass expires after 90 days. So you actually do have about 3 months, and I continually add classes as well. So if you purchase the beginner's course today, you will receive a free 10 class pass to any 10 of my live classes. And all you have to do is send me an email at theparisjames@gmail.com with your purchase of the course today, and I will add you into our 10 class pass. And this is kind of like how our Zoom classes look. We have a wide range of people attending, and it's just really nice to have that community and to be able to practice with people right from the comfort of your own home. And what I always like to advocate for is having a self-practice, meaning that if you don't have the time to go to a yoga studio, if you don't have time to go to the gym, you can always just hop on your mat and be able to flow by yourself. So coming to these live classes actually help you build that foundation, and you will find yourself every single day coming home and being like, I need to practice. So a 10 class pass is very, very valuable to be able to practice with me. So you can also find me on Instagram. This is my email address as well, and that is the website where all of my courses are listed, but Ashley's going to give you the link to purchase the course for the discount. So that brings me to the end of my presentation today, my practical and my theory. Thank you so much for listening and for being here. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Paris. I'm going to pull this off here. And I did put the link to the course in the chat. Also noted the 10 free live classes for the purchase of the course today, that's such a good surprise. I didn't actually know that was the bonus that we were being offered, and now I'm excited to claim it for myself too. So put Paris's email address in the chat. So if you decide to purchase the course today and you want to claim that 10 class pack, then email her at the email address that's in the chat. Please join me in thanking Paris for sharing her wisdom and that lovely interlude. We got to do some intellectual learning, right? Just understanding a bit about breath and movement and how yoga can impact our parasympathetic nervous system and what it does for our bodies and our minds. And then we got to practice some as well. That's a really special treat. Paris, thank you so much for your generosity with us today. Definitely drop in any questions that you have. And please also join me in thanking Paris. We want to show her some love to let her know how grateful we are. And would love to pass along any final thoughts or questions that you all might have. In the meantime, Paris, thank you so much. Is there any final words of wisdom for our new yogis?
I would say that if you're watching this is your sign to start. If you ever wanted to do yoga and you were always on the fence, this is your sign of you watching this right now. Even if you watch this in the future, this is your sign. And I want to give a huge thank you to Discover for letting me host this free workshop and have a course on the platform as well. So very grateful.
Excellent. Well, lots of love coming in from our audience here about this session today. Like I mentioned, folks, you will have access to replay this. So, if you missed a part or want to just do that exercise again, find a little bit of peace and centering, you'll have that opportunity. Definitely check out the YouTube channel, the Discover YouTube channel by Teachable. We have lots of great videos from incredible creators and practitioners of all sorts. Paris, of course, it is very special to have you today, and we're looking forward to when you come back, and maybe there's another level or another exploration that we can do with yoga poses. I know that it is a lifetime of learning if you allow it to be. So thank you, audience, for joining us. I know that from earlier in the session that we have folks from all over the world. So have a wonderful rest of your day, evening, morning, whatever it is where you are. And we will see you next time. Take care, everyone. Bye, everybody.